Hi everyone! The two-bar repeated verse riff of Boston's More Than a Feeling can be heard in several ways, each of which may be considered valid interpretations of the progression. Melodically, the riff's contour uses only chord notes and two added notes, G creating the D sus4 chord and D creating C sus2. The note D, present in two of the chords, as the root note of D major and D sus4 and the fifth degree of G major, and added to the C sus2 chord, sounds as a pedal in the higher register. Interestingly, the contour of the riff's second bar, as in the opening riff from Lucretia by Megadeth, creates a rhythmic 3-3-2 pattern, here moving in eighth notes. The bass, when it first enters, except for this A note, essentially follows the guitar's lowest notes, moving from D to B before leaping to G. Without any context, harmonically the riff would probably be analysed as sounding in D mixolydian, the fifth mode of G major. It could also be analysed as outlining a 5-4-1 progression in that key. Given the common inclusion in pop and rock music of a chord on a key's flattened 7th degree or subtonic, however, the progression may also be heard as a 1-flat-7-4 progression in D major. This progression is often labelled a double-plagal progression, as the root notes of the subtonic, subdominant and tonic chords move in descending fourths. While all of these analyses can technically explain the verse riff progression, following the verse, the pre-chorus and chorus progressions suggest an orientation towards G major. Beginning at 33 seconds, for example, the first pre-chorus outlines a 4-1-2-6-5 progression in that key, and beginning at 42 seconds, the first chorus uses the following chords, also oriented to G major. Throughout the verse and chorus, the vocals also use notes from G major, as does the bass. The fill from the pre-chorus is also in that key, and essentially outlines a descent to the note G beginning the chorus. The chorus's final E-flat chord can also be heard as a borrowed chord from G major's parallel minor. After the chorus, the following progression, initially beginning at 1 minute and 8 seconds, leads the song back to the verse. This progression is harmonically ambiguous and may be heard in G major, with the A major chord sounding as the major supertonic, moving through tonic harmony to G major's dominant, which is then prolonged by the submediant, or in D major, with E minor and A major creating a 2-5 progression, which then moves through subdominant harmony to the tonic, which is then prolonged by supertonic harmony. The vocals and bass in these bars avoid the note C and therefore provide no clarification of the key. After the second verse and chorus, beginning at 2 minutes and 16 seconds, however, the chords in the second part of this progression are changed, creating a modulation into the key of D major for the guitar solo. Given this modulation and the ambiguity of the post-chorus progression, it could be suggested that the verse may be heard in D major, with a modulation into G major for the chorus, followed then by a move back to D major. While this analysis is possible, as I've already outlined, an orientation towards G major in most sections, including two possible G-oriented analyses of the verse, means I favour D mixolydian G major for all sections, except the solo, which for contrast is in D major. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. See you next time.